Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, it's always something with my Dallas Cowboys. So now they're saying Amari Cooper, coming off the COVID list, is still under the weather and has a cough. He is available to play, but they're not sure how he'll be able to play. Here we go again. If only he had gotten vaccinated for the good of the team in the season, maybe he'd be 100% okay tonight.
Well, maybe you rooted for another team, you'd be okay for tonight.
It's just always something.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling real good about it.
You chose the wrong team to root for when you was a kid.
It chose me.
Well, we got plenty of Cowboy talk later in the show. But let's start with some Laker talk, because LeBron broke his silence as he remained in the NBA health and safety protocols, tweeting this yesterday afternoon. Quote, something is real fishy going on. Shannon, what's going on here?
My nephew is very frustrated, and he thinks that...
Wait, he's your nephew?
Yeah, that's my nephew. That's my nephew. Skip, look, I just think the thing is that LeBron, when he was out for those 2 weeks that he missed, Skip, you saw LeBron on the sideline. He was always masked up. I think LeBron says, I followed protocols to the T. As a matter of fact, I might have gone above and beyond what the NBA set forth in the protocol guidelines.
Oh, but we do believe he did get vaccinated before the season. Okay, so you trust that part. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
All right.
And he says, I've done everything in my absolute power. I mean, LeBron is not around a whole bunch of people to begin with. And so I believe he believed that he's monitored the situation as well as he possibly could. And now, it seemingly... I ain't have no COVID, I have nothing. But the moment I have a little squabble with the NBA about I call BS on the situation, now all of a sudden I got to miss 10 days. So he believes that there's something else going on. Now, I do not believe that the case. I believe LeBron, he said that he is vaccinated because he felt that was the best interest of not only for him and his family, but for the team as well. And so, but being vaccinated does not fully immunize you from catching this virus.
Obviously
all it does, it reduces your risk of catching the virus, but it also greatly reduces your risk of hospitalization.
Correct.
So with that being said, Skip, I just think look, LeBron is not the first player that's in the NBA that's captured COVID. We've seen a lot of players in the NFL that have gotten COVID, and some have been, and a lot of those have been vaccinated. So I think it's just a frustration level, Skip. The season has not gone the way the Lakers had expected. And so he's been nicked. He had an abdominal, he had an ankle, and now here's COVID. He's like, I'm starting to try to get back on the court with my team, and now here comes this diagnosis. So I just think there's a level of frustration with the season and how the season has played out. I think there's a level of frustration that's going on with him, the ankle, the abdominal groin injury that caused him to miss 2 weeks. And here it is again. I got to miss 10 more days possibly with this, and I am asymptomatic. I feel very good. I did have a negative test, but this is where we are. So I just think I think it's frustration, but I don't think it's anything fishy going on. I just think he thinks that because he had a little spat with the NBA with the Isaiah Stewart situation, Skip, and they're like, hold on. One game, and we need you to stop all that cursing. You stop all that cursing, too, while you're at it. So I just think that's what he's thinking in the back of his mind. Although I don't think that's at play here. Skip, you know how it is. When something goes like, damn, what else could go wrong? He's probably in one of those moves right now, like saying, what else can go wrong?
Okay, before I launch on this, are you buying into the TMZ report that there were 3 tests taken? Again, I'm not knocking TMZ because they're almost always right.
Correct.
But they tweeted on Tuesday that there were 3 tests taken. The first came back positive. The second came back negative. The third came back positive.
Right.
You're out.
Yeah, well, two out of 3.
Okay.
I believe 2 out of 3 either way, Skip. If 2 out of 3 had come back negative, I believe he played. 2 out of 3 came back positive. He had to sit down.
Okay. So are you buying that he's suspicious off the 1 negative test?
Probably. He's like, well, how if I'm positive, how can I get a negative? So Skip, you know how, Skip, look. Normally when you get a test, Skip, you get 1 test, okay, it comes back negative. It comes back positive. You take another test, it comes back negative. Which is the more reliable test? You normally go with the more reliable test results. Now, 2 out of 3, Skip, I don't know how he gets past 2 out of 3 being positive, and all of a sudden somehow he thinks that he's negative. But that's just the way we're wired, Skip. Like, okay, I'm negative, so I'm good to go.
Okay, I got it. Here I go. I want people to sit back and think about what is transpiring here, because this is a stunner to me. This is significant to me. This is LeBron, what's his middle name?
Ramon.
Ramon James. This is the face not only of the Lakers, this is the face of the NBA, suggesting through a suspicious tweet that he suddenly posts out of nowhere that something is real 5 times fishy, because he went 5 fishy emojis, right? It's 5 times fishy is going on here, which implies, which indicates that he thinks he's getting somehow railroaded by a league at which he is at war with at this point, right?
Right.
That somehow they have false positive him just to get him out of the way for a while, to punish him for his retaliation against their previous penalties. Okay, so let's take this thing one at a time. To me, he just flat out smacked Isaiah Stewart right in the face. I thought it was no accident. You thought it was strictly accidental, and he just went on and on about how accidental it was. His word was, his verb that he used, I brushed him. I brushed him. I thought he raised back, cocked his arm, and fired on him.
He used the term graze.
Yeah, he used graze. I thought he caught him first with the elbow, if we can see this, across the top of the eye and split that open. Then I thought he caught him with the forearm shiver across the nose. And then I thought he caught him with the back of the closed fist in the mouth, and also bloodied the mouth. And blood obviously flowed. And then there was some raging bull that flowed all over the court, and Isaiah lost it. And I'm happy that it didn't escalate any further than that. And they were obviously able to play through a game on Sunday night back at Staples with no incident. But that happened, and you and Chris Broussard said on the show there's no way they're going to suspend LeBron James for this, even though they quickly had ejected him. Well, you said they had to eject him. LeBron said they had to eject him just to de-escalate the whole situation on the road at Detroit, where obviously they had the Malice at the Palace once upon a time, featuring then Ron Artest and our man Steven Jackson. And you said, no way, suspension. And I said, way, because you have to suspend them. And I said 2 games and 3 games for Isaiah, and it went 1 and 2. The shock to me was, cutting off nose to spite own face, the NBA suspended LeBron James for his one and only visit to Madison Square Garden, the mecca of basketball, That was a stunner to me, because that was a message sent. We will not tolerate this, LeBron. And obviously that implied no accident in their view of that situation, correct? So LeBron comes back at Indiana, and they viewed it as retaliation that in overtime, he gets a hot hand, starts dropping threes. And after the first one, if we could see it again, he goes Sam Cassell, hopping up the court, saying, mine are bigger than anybody else's, Here we go. LeBron, I got this. This is almost, he's thinking logo, but he pulled up there. And he rips it, and he hops back down the court. And you know, and I know, and everybody knows what Sam Cassell invented and what our man Eddie House continued. That celebration. And the NBA said, no, we dock you, what, they fined $50,000 for that. I'm sorry, $15,000 for that. Just a little slap on the wrist. But the problem with it is it's a public slap on the wrist. And along for the ride came a public condemnation.
I think that was a bigger problem. I don't think the 15,000. I don't think the 15,000 bothered him. It was the public admonishment. Like, watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth, because in discussing what had happened, he F-bombed the NBA that it was going to do whatever the F it wanted to, or
and it was a bull. It was a bull jive.
It was bull. You know what? Okay, and so I assume it went all the way to the top to Commissioner Silver, who said, even for LeBron James, that is enough. We fine you and we censure you publicly. Whew. LeBron James, well, he's still the face of the league. And he's still got LeBron-esque ego. And so what happens? Well, he goes drama king back on the league. And is this Is this attention deficit disorder? Because it's got that going on because he's out of the spotlight and he's got too much time on his hands. So he's sitting around, what can I do? What can I do? And I wish he'd just gone ahead and gone right at it. If he really thinks there's some sort of conspiracy theory going on here, just say it.
Actually, I wish he had not gone right at it. I wish he hadn't even done that, because now you have other people out there that say, see, I told you, even LeBron James thinks COVID is some bull jive.
Well,
see that, and that's what.
Now you're going way deep.
But see, that's the thing, though, Skip. You know, anytime if you find someone that agrees with something that you say, you take it to the umpteenth degree. Now, the NBA says they have a 97% vaccination rate with their players in the league, and also, but they're recommending the booster shot. And basically, and you know, hey, I'm on the list. I get my booster shot, I think, on Monday. I think the 6th. Yeah.
And I got mine a month ago.
Yeah. So I had to get on the list. Give it, take a while. I mean, more people wanted the booster than I suspected. But I just think the thing is, Skip, is with this situation, it seems to me that he's very upset that he's missed as much time as he had. And you know, LeBron James does not like to miss time. He knows that the time is drawing near. Skip, when time is like, well, man, as you get older, you should slow down. Hell no, I should speed up. I got less time. Why the hell I'm going to slow down? LeBron says, hold on, I need to speed up. Y'all talking about cutting my minutes. Pretty soon, I'm not going to be able to have any minutes. So now we got 10 days. I guess he has 10 days. They normally put you in 10 days, and you got to have 2 negative tests before you can come back.
Yep.
So he's very frustrated, Skip, and he's looking at it like, y'all already did something that I never thought you would do.
I agree
you suspended me.
Yep.
And then on top of that, as soon as I get back and play a couple of games, now I'm gone again for 10 days. Was it what I said? He believes that what he said had more to do with this than he actually having a positive test. I don't think in the back of his mind is like, well, hold on, where did I get it from? Everybody that I'm around is vaccinated. I haven't had anybody come in or out that haven't been in my inner circle to begin with.
Well, the obvious day to circle would have been Thanksgiving Day, because I don't know who came over for what, and did some extra friends come over, did another relative come in, did somebody where you get exposed to people that you don't see except maybe once a year.
But even if they're vaccinated, Skip, they might have been exposed to somebody that wasn't on the up and up, and then hey, like I said, I'm surprised. When I read, I was like, he said that, he tweeted that. I mean, he put that out there.
Thank you.
I was surprised.
Okay, so my first reaction to this was pouting child. That's how it comes across to me. It is childish, and it is pouting. Like, you dared to suspend me, you dared to slap me on the wrist twice more after that, and now you did this to me as if this was somehow rigged, it was a false positive somehow. Okay, let's sit back and think about the reality of this. So the NBA wants to take LeBron James out of circulation for 10 more days? Why? To what end?
Exactly.
To punish him? How? Really?
Right.
It's like preposterous to me. It's ridiculous. It's too much time on my hands. It's sitting around going completely paranoid into conspiracy theories.
Especially, Skip, you definitely don't want to take him off the court when you're going up against the heart of the NFL season with so much going on and the way the season is playing out. You still got 15 teams in one conference that's eligible for playoff spots. That's the last thing. You want your stars to shine bright, because it's already hard enough when you're going up against. They're drawing 38 million. They're drawing 25. They're drawing 30 million. The last thing. That league is about superstars. It's not about teams. The NFL is about teams. That logo, the star, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He gonna be big.
Totally agree.
The Steelers are the Steelers.
It doesn't even matter who's on the field.
Yes.
As long as that star's on the helmet, people will watch.
You remember, Skip, you remember the strike year in 87?
I
think there was another one in 82.
Yeah.
And people still watched.
They did. They still watched.
And the owners know that.
Yeah, they still watched what were then called, dismissed as scabs. Really?
Yeah, that's what it was called, Skip.
Really?
Yes. So for me, I just think there's a level of frustration that's going on here. I personally, it doesn't matter what I think, but what he thinks. But I don't think the NBA is trying to railroad LeBron James. It's like, okay, go sit down. You want to talk bad about us publicly? This is what we're going to do to you. This is not one of those China. This is not Turkey, Skip, where possibly something like that could happen. Yeah. But I don't see that in the situation here.
So Shannon Sharpe, this is not exactly goatish behavior on the part of your man, LeBron.
Well, I know a goat that went and sat down for a whole year and a half. He got upset.
He got sent home.
Dude.
talking about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who was sent home for almost 2 years.
He went and played baseball.
Yeah.
Commissioner Stern said, I'm not pleased with your behavior.
That is correct. So, did he tweet about it? Well, he couldn't because there was no tweet.
He went and played baseball.
Okay, he had nothing else to do, so he said, I got to
He could have played basketball.
Could not have played, but where?
In the NBA.
Well,
but he started pouting. He
did not pout.
He turned his ball. He turned his ball and sneakers in for a bat and a glove. That's what he did.
Well, that's because he was ordered to, and that was the end of that deal. And then did he come back and pout?
Did he
take shots at the NBA? No, he just said, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'll go win 3 more championships with 3 Finals MVPs.
You see what Skip?
Thank you very much.
You see what people at home? Did you see what Skip Bayless just did? Skip Bayless just said, you know what? Michael Jordan wouldn't even got COVID. That's how good he is. LeBron James can't be the GOAT because he got COVID. Michael Jordan would have never got COVID.
You know, I hadn't thought of that, but that's actually a very good point. I would agree.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Because COVID would have taken one look at Michael and said,
You see what I'm talking about, Skip Bayless?
No.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for that one.
Michael would have just flexed and said, come on, COVID. And COVID would say, no.
So he would have got, but he got the flu. You remember the flu? So was it the flu? Scottie Pippen said, I don't know if that was really the flu. That's what Scottie said.
What did he do with the flu?
I don't know what he did.
He destroyed Utah while fluish.
Scottie said he don't know.
That is goatish.
What did Scottie Pippen say?
What did he? I don't care what he said. You want to talk about petulant child? You want to talk about axe to grind? You want to talk about
Scottie said there have been a lot of people that play with the flu. How many people you know play with herniated disc in the back?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he did do that until Game 6 at Utah when Michael said, you just stay over there and just stand over there because I got this shot and I will end this right now.
I think that I think this is for the very first time you and I agree on a LeBron subject. We're both surprised that he did it, and we probably both wished he hadn't done it.
Oh, well, that's very objective on your part because that's the first time you've ever been objective.
You ought to stop.
Way to go. So congratulations.
What did I say about Friday night?
That was a first on Undisputed.
What did I say about Friday night in Sacramento? Did I not give him the lion's share of the criticism?
You mean Staples?
At Staples, we played Sacramento.
You sort of did. I mean, what exit did he leave you? You had no comeback because he was 2 of 13 from 3. And he missed 2 game winners in the same game.
Somehow you always find a way, an exit strategy when it comes to the Cowboys. Or Tom, you know who.
Well, let's talk about that right now and just see how I exit or don't exit.
You better hope they win tonight.
Yeah.
Or you gonna have to exit. You gonna have to exit early tomorrow.
No mercy.
We're just hours from kickoff of Cowboys Saints on Fox Thursday Night Football. Now, while Dallas has been favored all week, the line has fluctuated a ton, with some sportsbooks having the spread as high as 7 points before dipping all the way down to 3.5. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, the Cowboys are now 5-point favorites as they look to snap their 2-game skid. So, Shannon, why is there so much movement on the line, and who wins tonight?
Well, Skip, I think there's a lot of uncertainty with the Cowboys, especially on the Cowboys side of the football. Mike McCarthy, the head coach, is out. Joe Philbin, offensive line coach. They have at least 9 coaches of players that will be out with COVID-related issues. Amari Cooper coming back in the uncertainty of his status. And so for me, Skip, I think that's kind of hard. That's been hard for the Fox bets and the people that make these betting lines, Skip. I think it's been hard for them to pin down, okay, how important is Mike McCarthy? Is that worth a point here or there, Skip? You go, well, not really that good. I mean, I haven't really seen him made any calls that you say, well, he won the game with that call or that decision that he's made, Skip. And I think, like I said, the uncertainty of a lot of different players coming in and out of the lineup, and given the way the Cowboys have played the last month of the season, Skip, I think, they don't just look at, oh, that's the Cowboys, they should be this. They look at trends. They're not trying to lose any money, but by the same token, they're looking at the Saints and like, hold on, y'all gave up 40 to Philly. You just gave up 31 to Buffalo. It's like y'all playing on borrowed time, even though you're still in the playoff hunt, Skip. They haven't played well over the last. Trevor Siemian out of the lineup. Taysom Hill starts. Hill, you look at his starts last year, Skip. He was not very good. He's more of a runner. The Cowboys know he wants to run. They want to run the football. So my objective is like, you know what? I'm not going to let him run. I'm going to make him beat me throwing the football. And if he beats me throwing the football, I shake your hand at the end of the game and says, good luck, stay healthy. The Cowboys, they're looking at the Cowboys like, well, Are you going to run what are you going to do? Are you going to run it? Because you can run it. When you were running the football, y'all was winning us a lot of money. Now y'all started throwing the ball over the yard. Y'all costing us a lot of money. The Saints, Skip, they're the number 3 rush defense, but you look at what they gave up to Philly. They gave up 240, 50 yards against Philly. They gave 100 plus to Buffalo. So which real Saints defense is going to show its head? Which real Cowboy offense is going to be the one, Skip, that when they run it slightly more than they throw it, they win these games and they cover? Or are they going to be a team that throw it all over the yard and say, well, we got a $75 million quarterback, we got 2 wide receivers, we got a couple of tight ends that can catch it. They spray the ball all over the field. So I think there's a lot of things that play, but I think the main reason why the line keeps fluctuating up and down is the uncertainty on the Cowboys side, be it personnel, coaches, and players, more so than what they're going to do, from a schematic standpoint, run the football or throw the football.
And your outcome is?
I got the Cowboys winning 24-13.
24-13, says the Hall of Famer Shannon.
Because I have no idea what they're going to do. Because they should run the football, but you know how you guys are.
I cannot tell you how much I hope you were correct about tonight. This is another swing game because now it starts. After this, they go to Washington, to Giants, Washington back home, Arizona at home, and at Philadelphia. It does not get any easier after tonight.
It's the 3 straight division games that you need to worry about.
Okay. Unfortunately, I disagree with why you say the spread has fluctuated, and I disagree with your outcome. And I've always told you, I am an objective Cowboy fan, maybe to a fault. I took last Thursday night very personally on Thanksgiving. I just still haven't recovered from what I saw.
So you had a bad Thanksgiving, what you said.
It wrecked my un-Thanksgiving. I was thankful for nothing, especially for my football team. And so now I had a November not to remember, and I keep picking them to win games, and I picked them to beat Denver, and they got annihilated at home, and I still can't get over that. And then I picked them to bounce back against Atlanta, and they bounced back like gangbusters, like I've never seen before, but it became the aberration game.
Yeah.
It became the outlier that lies, right? It just lies to you because it was 43-3 Dallas.
Right.
And then they bounce right back with 19-9 at Kansas City, and the offense has the ball 12 times against what you thought was a very suspect Kansas City defense and managed 3 field goals?
3.
You're kidding me.
Yep.
And then Thanksgiving happened, and there were great moments, and there were pathetic moments, and they lost in overtime to a team that they're way better than, a team that had lost to the Bears and lost to the Giants, and you had
lost 3 straight.
Yeah, you had little to no respect for them. So what am I to do with this? I'll be honest with you. When the schedule first came out, this is one game I put an X by because I have a long history of knowing what it feels like because I've been there for many games, Cowboys at Saints. I cannot stress to you how much those people in that city and that area, that parish, if we will, hate the Dallas Cowboys. Right. It's a neighboring state, a border state, and they have lived for too many years in the shadows of the chest-beating Dallas Cowboy fans in the state of Texas that somehow filter over into Louisiana.
But, Skip, you were not looking at the uncertainty at the Saints quarterback position. You were thinking Jameis.
No. Time out. Let me keep going.
No, but you said you had thought this was going to be a tough game.
Because I'm saying because they get so up for it. Did you see what Troy Aikman said on his radio show a couple of days in Dallas? That coach gets pretty cranked to play the Dallas Cowboys. He does. Sean Payton obviously was the right-hand man, the assistant head coach for Bill Parcells for 3 years in Dallas. He despises all things Dallas. And he will have them at fever pitch. That I've been there. When the Cowboys visit, it is Mardi Gras emotional decibel level.
Right.
They will be out of their minds tonight, ready to lay it on and get even with the Dallas Cowboys for all those glory years. They live to do this. So I put an X by that game to start with, not knowing what the quarterback said. I thought it would be Jameis.
Right.
Okay, you have no respect for Taysom Hill. I fear Taysom Hill because you keep dismissing what he did last year. Well, you fixate on the one game, the first start at Philadelphia when he got outplayed by Jalen Hurts. But he went 3-1 in the 4 games last year, and he completed 72% of his passes. That's pretty good. He threw 4 touchdowns to 2 picks. He ran the ball very well last year in those 4 starts. He ran for 209 yards. He was averaging 5 yards a carry because he is a faster Tim Tebow. He ran 4.4. I don't know if he can run 4.4 now. And he does have, he's got a plantar fascia tear, you know, your plantar fascia across the bottom of your foot. Listen, if you just get plantar fasciitis, you can barely get out of bed if you've had it, right? You can barely walk on it, but he's got a tear. So he's still a little bit iffy for the game, but I figure he's going to suck it up, gut it out, and here he'll come. Right. Okay, I believe the spread has wildly fluctuated in largest part because who is the driving force of that team? It is Alvin Kamara, who has not played for the last 3 games, really for 4, because he got hurt after a while against Atlanta in the 27-25 home loss that started their 4-game skid. No Alvin Kamara. Well, he practiced this week limited. There was a report last night that says he's out, but I'm not trusting that he's out. That is sink or swim to me. If he cannot go, I give us a much better chance. But I'm just guessing he will go. Mark Ingram is finally back. He's been gone, but he practiced full all week.
But if Kamara does go, how much can he give you? How much bang for the buck can he give you, coming that he's missed as many games and still there's uncertainty whether or not he's going to play? So if he does play...
That is the mystery of that point spread. And I believe as it started looking like Kamara was going to play... because he was practicing limited. I think the smart money is betting it down toward the home team. Because they're a home underdog, which in most betting circles, you'll take your home underdogs and you'll live to tell about most of them. You'll win about 75% of them, right? Especially when it's a good team with still a pretty good defense that can rise and shine, which brings me to my next point. Dennis Allen is a top 5 defensive coordinator, and I think you would agree with me. Because once upon a time, he helped carry Tim Tebow to the division title as the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, correct? Have you seen, yes you have, what he has done to Tom Brady in 3 of the last 4 games they played Tom Brady? Would you believe he's held Tom Brady to a QBR of 31 in those 3 wreck jobs that he did on him, including the one this year at New Orleans? 31 in those games. Tom Brady went 6 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. In those games, he threw for an average of only 274 yards a game and got sacked 9 times in 3 games. They can get after you, and they can get after a quarterback, and they can take the run away from you, because guess who leads the whole league as we stand right here, right now, in rush yards allowed per carry. 3.1 yards. It's New Orleans. They are second in just total rush yards allowed. Okay, so they can crank up and stop the run. So if they force the ball into Dak's hands, what is the strength of their defense? Well, the back 4, the secondary, wouldn't you say it's still pretty good?
Yeah, I think the thing is, Skip, that's what you want to do. You want to take away the run because you see Dallas is more successful when they run the football more than they throw it. So you want to take the ball out of the Zeke Elliott belly and Tony Pollard's belly and put it in Dak Prescott's hand.
Back in the back end is Marcus Williams and, Malcolm Jenkins, and Lattimore's a stud, and Bradley Roby's pretty good, and that little P.J. Williams is the one who picked 6 Brady at the end of the game at New Orleans, right? Demario Davis is still pretty good. Wouldn't you say Cam Jordan's pretty good? I think he's real good.
I think Davenport's going to be out, though, Skip.
Davenport is out. I give you that.
Yes, they have it good, but I don't know what has happened over the last 4 games because I can hardly recognize this defense. I didn't see a defense that was going to give up what they gave up to the Eagles or what they gave up to Buffalo. Now, we understand Buffalo is a very talented team, and they were on the skid, and so we knew at some point in time they would put it together. But, Skip, this is this team overall, we haven't seen the consistency. We see them do a number on Green Bay, and we see where Green Bay are today, and then we haven't really seen. We see again, they go play well, and then like 2 or 3 games, like, bro, who is this? What is this?
Okay. So I got it.
You comfortable with that?
They get up for the Dallas Cowboys. Sean Payton can be a mastermind of a play caller and a pregame strategist when he smells blood. And what was the blueprint given to the league by your coach in Denver after he did a 30-0 through 3 quarters on the Dallas Cowboys at Jerry World? What was the blueprint? Run the ball down their throat.
Well, yeah,
Denver ran for 190, right?
Yeah.
That's what Sean Payton is looking at, that Vic Fangio basically said, I showed you how to do it, right?
But also the game plan is, Skip, is also what? is that you get some cooperation from the Cowboys when they don't run the football.
Okay, I got it. I believe New Orleans can take away what's left of our running game because our running game has gone straight downhill.
Has it?
After a hot start through 6 games, over the last 5 games, we rank 29th in rush yards per game. Over the last 6 games, 29th.
And you also
because it just keeps going downhill, literally downhill.
Well, you also probably rank 29th or 30th in carries per game, Skip.
Okay.
Skip, you can't.
I think we're 26th. In
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Right. Okay, so we abandoned and we dropped.
Yes.
Okay, so he's saying, I can, what was Parcells' famous line before the Buffalo Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Shorten the game.
Yeah.
That's what he will try to do tonight because I've got one stud, one star, one defensive player of the year candidate as a rookie on defense, and his name is Micah Bleepin Parsons. I believe that they're looking at him as a stand-up defensive. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence is supposed to be back. I don't know about his conditioning,
right.
but he's back after all those weeks.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Okay,
You can't miss that kind of time and just come back in the middle of the season and
what can you do to Micah? You can run on him because he's still a little light in the back end. You know, you can blow him out of there on occasion. He's not great against the run. That's where he's better at linebacker. If you give him a running start, he can go chase people down.
Right.
But if you line him up on the edge where he's a stand-up rusher, you can run right at him and you can blow him out. Okay? So I believe that especially if Kamara can play, Mark Ingram also, they'll just hammer away because Taysom Hill can run the football.
Yeah.
If his foot's okay, he will run the football. A lot of read option, a lot of keeper, a lot of rollouts, and they will try to run it down their throats and get toward 200 yards rushing and just play keep away, right? And then try to force Dak to throw it against a very good secondary and a very good pass rush.
Well,
right?
That should be very concerning. If any of what you say is true, that Taysom Hill can run it and he can have some success throwing the football, that should be a panic button for you because every quarterback that you could possibly face in the playoffs are going to be better than Taysom Hill.
Okay.
Every single quarterback.
I got it.
So that should cause you some concern.
Okay, but you have no respect for him.
I gave him 24-13.
Okay, 24-13. Okay, but
Cowboys 24-13.
I know, but you gave Taysom Hill 13 points, right? Okay, so, but you've been dismissing him all week. You have no respect for him.
Skip the 4 starts. Yeah, they won 3 of the 4 starts, but he averaged 46. You said 50 in QBR is average. He was below average.
Okay. Well, Tom Brady's averaged 31 in the 3 losses over the last 2 years.
But Tom Brady ain't playing tomorrow.
Okay, tonight.
Yes. So what's your score?
So, being completely objective about this, as I sit back and look at it, it just doesn't feel right to me. And I'm actually very tired of picking my Cowboys to win when they embarrass or humiliate me. So I put an X by the game before the year started, and I'm going to stick with it. Even with Taysom Hill at quarterback, I'm going to stick with it. No Mike McCarthy, that's actually, for me, a plus for our team. We'll see. We're going to talk about that more later in the show. But in the end, I believe it boils down to a low-scoring game. Kind of, you've got it fairly low-scoring, but I got it this low-scoring. I got New Orleans 23, Dallas 20. And I believe you keep picking my team to jinx my team, so I don't trust your picks at all. You should trust my pick.
No.
Because I'm giving it from the gut.
No, I know what you're trying to do.
I'm not trying to do anything.
Because what you've done is that you picked the last 4 games. You picked your team to win, and you go 1-3. So what you're trying...
I picked them because I believed in them. I kept telling you, this is the team I trust until it just abolished my
Michael
trust.
Parsons, you said Michael Parsons might be the best defensive player in football right now, so he should just completely take apart this game.
I just told you, if you run at him, he's not the best player in football.
But hold on. You said yesterday Michael Parsons has a chance to do something that only the great Lawrence Taylor has done. Win defensive rookie of the year and defensive player of the year in the same season.
Yep.
Well, T took over this game and wrecked Sharpe and won it.
Okay. But I also told you he is my only hope to hang on and win this division. He is going to have to be a supreme difference maker game after game after game. Okay, and he has been so far. And if he stays on course and they do win this division, he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year as opposed to just
I don't believe he'll win that.
Okay, well, it could be Myles Garrett. For a while, it was Trevon Diggs. Who knew? For about 6 games.
Yeah. Was on a great place, T.J. Watt, but now he's in COVID protocol, so he's going to miss a couple of games.
Yep.
23-20. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to use that reverse psychology.
No,
It ain't gonna happen.
I'm not. I'm just giving you the raw, real
Hold
truth.
on. You got Dak back. You got Amari back. You're probably gonna have CD. You got Ty Smith, Zach Martin. You got Lyle Collins, who was a Pro Bowl player at right tackle, even though Terrence Steele is out. And you all of a sudden you gonna say your offense, that the one that Pro Football Focus says is still the number 1, number 2 rated offense in all of football.
Yep.
Are you saying you cannot go to New Orleans and win the game with Taysom Hill as the opposing quarterback?
As I told you earlier, Amari Cooper, coming off the COVID list, still is under the weather, says Mike McCarthy. He is still coughing, says Mike McCarthy.
So how do you know
he's available to play, but conditioning-wise, after missing, 2 games in 10 days.
Why would you have him in the building if he's still coughing?
Well, he's available. He's eligible to play, so you took him on the trip. So here we go again.
He up there coughing on the plane and everything.
That's pretty scary to me, actually. But I assume he's passed 2 tests in 24 hours, so he's still lingering with the cough, but he's not contagious, right? Okay, so how much can you trust knowing Amari in road games? What's been his history with the Cowboys in road games?
I can't trust the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I picked him.
You can't trust Amari Cooper in road games, especially if he's still a little under the weather. So do I think he's going to have a big game? I do not. And by the way, the last time I saw Dak Prescott at New Orleans in the Superdome, what happened? Help me out.
Well, the last time I saw Dak anywhere, he was empty calories. He did a great job.
What happened the last time we saw him in this building?
Y'all scored 10 points?
10 points. We lost 12-10 to Teddy Bridgewater yet again.
And he lost to him again.
12-10. So we scored a touchdown and a field goal. And just to remind the diehard Cowboy fans of what happened early in that game at 0-0, there was a 3rd and 9 from the 10-yard line. If we could see what happened, because Dak had Randall Cobb. Remember Randall Cobb? Now back to Green Bay. Dak rolls out, and he's got Randall Cobb, and this is another on-the-run throw, and he's wide open. He just missed him. It's like Noah Brown in overtime the other day, and he just missed Randall Cobb. He just missed him. He just let him too much. Is that a touchdown? Sure, it's a touchdown.
Yep.
Is that a 4-point swing because they just took the field goal there, and they lost 12-10? Is that the play of the game, like the Noah Brown misfire was the play of the game in overtime? Yes, it was.
That wasn't no play of the game. The Saints were going to come back and beat y'all even if y'all had scored a touchdown on that. Stop it.
12-10? Wow.
So they'd beat you. So instead of being 12-10, y'all would have had, they'd have beat y'all probably 17-14. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay, I'm just showing you what happened the last time. He threw for 233 yards against Dennis.
Man, that was 3 years ago.
Okay, but remember what he was coming off of? That was the 4th game of the year, and he had thrown the biggest Mardi Gras parties on the first 3 opponents that you called all of them garbage, remember?
Yeah, but you didn't want to believe that.
Okay, it was
Miami, the Giants.
It was the Giants first, and then it was at Washington, and then it was Miami back home. Garbage, garbage, garbage.
Yes.
Dak had QBRs in the 90s and was leading the league in QBRs going into game number 4 at New Orleans. And I said, we will roll tonight. And we got rolled.
Exactly.
Yep, 12-10. Way to go. And this one feels like that.
Nah, you try to use reverse psychology.
No.
I hope you're wrong.
You hope I'm wrong? Or you hope...
I hope you're right. No, I hope you're right with the score.
Correct. That's correct.
But I don't think you'll be right.
you're right with your score.
I think I'm going to be right.
Okay, congratulations.
You want some do on it?
No, I do not, because I don't bet against my team.
No mercy. Let's head to New England because they might not have TB12, but they now have MJ10. That's the nickname that Mac Jones reportedly filed a trademark for, taking a page out of Tom Brady's branding playbook. MJ10 is set to appear on clothing items set to launch in the near future. Shannon, do you have any problem with it?
No, this is the way this is the way it's going, Skip. Guys are coming in, they're already thinking about building brands. It used to be, and it's not like this anymore, Skip. You wait, especially in the NFL. Now, obviously, basketball players are different. LeBron came in and he was already the king. Jordan, after Skip, you remember the Air Jordan came out, and so basketball is different. But in football, especially the quarterbacks, it normally took some years before Peyton Manning thought about building a brand. Obviously, he had it in the back of his mind. He said, but I need to get in here and win some games before I start talking about branding stuff. Tom Brady waited a long time before the TB12. I'm sure at the back of his mind, he's like, okay, maybe I can become a brand. I can start building something. But that's not the way the guy's thinking now, Skip. Now, obviously, the best thing would have but it's already taken. He can't be Mac 10 because that's a firearm, and he can't be Mac 10 because that's a rapper. Even though they, one spell it one way and the one spell it the other, he can't use Mac 10, which would have been really cool. Mac 10, Skip, that'd have been perfect for him. So he goes MJ 10. Tom Brady does not have a copyright or patent on nobody can use initial and nobody can use numbers. He doesn't have a patent on that. Oh, he's copying Tom Brady. No, he's not. First of all, the first TB was Terry Bradshaw, so he stole TB. He used his number. So I don't have a problem with it, Skip. It's just, and even though it might take him some years to get national spots. But if you play quarterback, locally you can rack up too, Skip. You know that. So just because it's not something that we see nationally, where it's a Gatorade spot, or we see Baker Mayfield doing all these progressives, or we see Mahomes and Rodgers doing All-State, Tom Brady's doing Subway, he might not have national commercials, but local money is good too. And so he'll probably get a couple of these locals, probably has a car deal right now, Skip, that he makes appearances at. They give him a car to drive. I'm sure he has, a phone service provider or whatever the case may be. So normally quarterbacks, Skip, no matter how good you are, no matter how bad your team are, they normally the guy that's front and center when it comes to marketing on the team. And so Mac Jones winning like he's winning, he seems to be the real deal. Everybody, I heard the McCourty brothers speaking glowing terms about him. I heard Slater, Matthew Slater, speaking glowing terms, saying we have a lot of guys in this building. I don't know if we've seen anybody spend any more time in this building than what he does. So everybody speaks in glowing terms. And so, Skip, he's going to be marketable because he's going to win in New England, and they love the Patriots. So I get it. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. But you want to make it seem like, oh, he copied it.
I haven't
No, I know, because you always say Tom Brady can't nobody use initials. Kyler Murray's already K1. So this is what, Skip, this is where we are now. It's different than when you were covering. It's different than when I was playing. Basically, only the quarterbacks were branding, and that was after 4 or 5 years. Now, guys come in, everybody getting shoes, patent leather shoes. You had to be somebody. Nike wouldn't even dare think about giving me no shoes my first couple of years in the league. Now, I see guys, all they play is special teams. They got their number on their shoes. They got patent leather shoes. I'm like, how? You ain't even doing, you on the bench with the best-looking shoes in the house. Look at Tom Brady. He got plain Under Armour. Peyton Manning had the little plain shoes. Now everybody got fancy shoes, Skip. This is just a sign of time to come, or what it is not, Skip. So for me, I don't got a problem with it. It's smart. He probably tried to get ahead of it because you know how people are, Skip. They just bop. I had to buy Shannon Sharpe 84 off a dude because somebody had to beat me to it. It is what it is.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings. Should have 9 Super Bowl rings. But Belichick cost him 2 more.
Can I ask you a question?
He should have 9.
Let me ask you a question. Did he wait till he got to 7, or did he start doing this before?
He really hasn't done much of this until he got to Tampa Bay under no risk it, no biscuit Bruce Arians and started letting his hair down and having some fun. The audacity of what Mac Jones just did in the middle of his rookie campaign in New England is just stunning to me. That he has now exposed himself as not that quiet, humble kid from Alabama by Jacksonville. No, he's Baker Mayfield. He might be beyond Baker Mayfield, right? Here we are. Yeah, that's who he is. The audacity and the bad idea of this.
Why is it a bad idea?
Let's start with the initials. Those 2 initials should be retired from all time. Nobody can ever use those initials because there was only one MJ, as in Michael Jordan. This is sports we're talking about, not entertainment. We are talking about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT of GOATs, the greatest GOAT of all time, the greatest single player, the greatest clutch player ever. You can't adopt his, it's like LeBron having the audacity to adopt or borrow the powder toss routine. You can't do it.
Everybody's done something.
You can't do it.
Skip, everybody has done something before. You want Tom Brady to patent, let's go, like he was the first player to ever say, let's go.
MJ10, are you kidding me?
What you want him to be, this kid?
I don't know. You got to think of something better. I get you about Mac. You can't, there are too many Mac somethings out there. You can't do it. It won't work because they're already trademarked. Right. But you got to come up with something else. And then the audacity to follow in the footsteps of the GOAT before you, because he was TB12. Yeah. And that was his trademark. Yeah. That was his calling card. I'm TB12. He coined that.
Right.
So now this kid's going to be MJ10? So it's right in the
Mac 10
footsteps.
Enterprises.
Okay, Mac 10 Enterprises.
It's his company.
You can do whatever you want to do, but just don't do that. You were double wrong with this. Okay, there's a way to do it. Just do Mac with an exclamation point.
No. He wants his number. He's Mac 10. So he wanted MJ 10. That's what he wanted.
At least Patrick Mahomes, thanks to his agent Lee Steinberg, waited 2 years. He toiled in the shadows. Yes. He was spectacular the first 2 years, but he did no endorsements, no commercial making until he actually got to and won a Super Bowl. And then it was like, okay, I have earned it. I have arrived. I'm up on this pedestal. Now it's time for me to start doing State Farm commercials.
Well, Skip, Andrew Luck waited 4 or 5 years before he did anything, and RG3 was right out the box.
Okay, but I don't even remember Andrew Luck doing anything.
Yeah, I think he had one commercial. I think it was with the NFL with one. But that's the point. The number 1 overall pick, and he wasn't even trying to do anything. And then you see other guys right out the box.
Okay, you were asking for it to do this quickly because I get it. They are now 8-4. They're half game up on the Bills in the division. Huge game on Monday night at Bills. We'll see how he fares in that game. But he lost his first 4 home games, did MJ10. He lost his first 4 home games. Does anybody remember that? I guess not.
No, because winning makes you have amnesia.
Okay. He has now moved up to 14th in QBR, which is pretty good for a rookie. I give him, he's playing really well.
Is he going to be offensive rookie of the year?
Sure.
Yes or no?
The offensive rookie of the month.
Again.
Assume he will be.
Sure will.
Okay, because I'm not seeing anybody really challenge that at all.
Right.
Because the other guys aren't really doing much of anything. They've been hurt and out.
Well, the competition between him and Jamar Chase.
Okay, well, he's going to win again, but we still got a long way home here. We're not sure about that, right? We got to see him cap it off here.
Yeah, they got 2 against Buffalo. They got Indy. So yeah, they don't. The next month will tell us everything we need to know about the Patriots because they got 2 Buffaloes and they got Indy sandwiched in there. They go 3-1 in the next 4 games. They will have your undivided attention.
Yeah, they will. I keep hearing that Mac Jones, according to many people, most of them based in the New England neighborhood, is having a better first year starting than Tom Brady did. And I'm sorry, I don't see it because I look down at Tom Brady had 3 games with 3+ touchdown passes and Mac's had 1. He's still dinking and dunking. I know the last game he threw it downfield a little bit more, but
that's what Tom did.
No, again, 3 games with 3+ touchdowns.
Right, but Skip, just because you have 3+ touchdowns, how many games of 300 yards did he have?
Okay, I got it. But the point is that we got a long way to go because Tom Brady is a first-year starter. I realize it's his 2nd year in the league. Yes. As a first-year starter, he was carrying a coach who was on the hot seat. Bill Belichick was horrendously bad.
You told me earlier this year Bill Belichick is on the hot seat, considering what he did last year and what Tom Brady did in Tampa. So now he's not on the hot seat anymore?
Okay, but that was when he was a nobody because he'd gotten fired in Cleveland because they had losing records for the 5 years. And then he had plunged to, 13 games under 500 because they'd fallen to 0-2 to start that 2001 season.
Okay.
And then heaven struck. The God said, let there be Brady, because Drew Bledsoe got hurt against the Jets.
Okay.
And history started to happen, right? So what happened in the Tuck Rule playoff game, the snow job game that I covered because I was covering the then Oakland Raiders?
Right.
Well, Tom Brady was quietly spectacular in that game. Can Mac Jones do that? Because
we got to find out, Skip.
Tom Brady in the 4th quarter and overtime of that game in the driving snow went 20 of 28 for 138 yards. You could see early Brady turning into
Think about what you just said. On 28 attempts, the man only had 138 yards. So in other words, he was dinking and dunking.
In the 4th quarter and overtime?
He was dinking and dunking. It doesn't matter what quarter it was in.
Driving snow. Are you kidding me?
Whether it's only snowing when Tom Brady had the ball or whether it's snowing when other people had the ball.
Well, the Raiders did nothing.
We don't know. They had a lead.
No, they had a lead at halftime, and they couldn't hold on to it.
And they should have won that game, but that was tough. But anyway, we don't know, Skip, if Mac Jones can do what some of the things that Tom has done early in his career. Because people can't get past the fact Tom Brady right now Nobody is saying Mac Jones is Tom Brady right now. But if you go back and look at Tom Brady, remember Tom Brady as a rookie, he could not bleed out Drew Bledsoe. Remember Tom Brady as a second-year player could not beat out Drew Bledsoe.
Right, but he was a sixth-round pick. Nobody even saw him coming.
That's my point.
Like there's a point where are we even going to keep him in camp as the third quarterback?
And they kept him. But all I'm saying is, Skip, is that you got to look at a player at the same point in time in their careers. People can't get past Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl, all these come from behind wins, all-time leader in passing yards. You can't look past that. But Tom Brady originally, I played against Tom Brady early in his career. I did not see this. Anybody that tells you, Bill Belichick, anybody that tells you they saw this coming from Tom Brady, they're lying. Even after he won in 2001. We played him in 2002, and he didn't look. I'm like, that guy actually won a Super Bowl? That's what I was thinking. And then I saw him come back the next year.
Well, that's actually what you think now.
No. I know what he is, Skip. I mean, I give guys credit. But I'm not naive to the fact that See, the problem that I have with you and others is that when Tom Brady wins, it's all Brady. But when he loses, the defense didn't get him the ball back, B.A. got in the way, Coach Belichick cost him 2 Super Bowls. That's my only problem. If everybody was fair with the assessment of Brady, when you give him credit, but give the other guys credit also. He don't have Gronk, but you don't mention Gronk when they win these Super Bowls. You don't mention nothing about Gronk. But let him lose a game. He ain't got Gronk. He ain't got AB. BA, the defense. That's my only problem. If everybody was fair in their assessment of the credit that goes around, I would have no problem.
And my only problem with you, if you were ever, for once in your life, fair with how great this man is and has been, you don't.
Skip,
you are lost in Brady hate.
No, because think about what you just said. You say this man has 7 Super Bowls and his head coach cost him another 2. You don't say about the 6 that the man helped him win. You just talk about the 2 that he lost.
Well, the man did help him win the very first one, his first year starting against the greatest show on turf, those St. Louis Rams. I give Belichick high marks for the defensive job that he did on Kurt Warner and company.
Right.
But what happened in the final drive with John Madden sitting up in the booth saying, boy, they got to shut it down and just play for overtime? Tom Brady, first-year starter, completed 5 huge passes to get them in range. It was 49 yards, but he got them in range. And again, Belichick trusted him and let him have the reins to go ahead and do it because Charlie Weiss is saying, the kid's got this. He's got this.
Yes.
And it took Adam Vinatieri, the greatest clutch kicker in the history of pro football, to make it from 49 yards right down Broadway, and game over. They pulled it off. A huge upset is, what were they, like a 16-point underdog?
But think about this, Skip. Going into that final drive, Tom Brady had 96 yards passing. So in other words, without Coach Belichick's defense doing that outstanding job.
I just said that.
Okay. What about in Arizona? That pick on the goal line. So what are we going to do about that? Are you going to give Coach Belichick and that Malcolm Butler any credit for that one?
Sure, I give him credit, but Tom Brady against the Legion of Boom threw for 124 yards in the fourth quarter with 2 touchdowns and brought them down back from 24 to 14. They're down 24 to 14. So, help me out. How great is that?
So let me ask you a question.
Is that all-time?
So how many points did they score in the fourth quarter, Seattle?
How many did Seattle score?
Yeah. 0. Coach Belichick's defense.
Okay.
So now I give you this on the flip side.
Yeah, but look at time of possession in the fourth quarter. Brady's just playing keep away from him. They can't stop him.
But they did. So in other words, did Seattle get the ball in the fourth quarter?
Not much.
They did. And Coach Belichick. So I give you a prime example. You look at the Super Bowl that he lost to the Eagles the second time around. He threw for a playoff high. Super Bowl high in the history. Nobody's thrown for more yards
in the playoffs
than what Tom Brady did.
505.
And what happened? Coach Belichick's defense didn't do what it normally does, and he lost. So to make a long story short and a short story long, if Coach Belichick's defenses doesn't do what they do, Tom Brady can't do what he does. But all you do is make it about Brady. That's all. That's my only problem, Skip. I know what Brady is.
He put up 33 points on Philadelphia and lost 41 to 33 because Malcolm Butler was mysteriously, inexplicably benched for the whole game.
You're making my point. So it doesn't matter what he does.
What happened in the first Eli Super Bowl? Help me out. What did Brady do, as he always does? Game-winning drive. I put quotes around it because it felt like a game-winning drive. He goes 75 yards, and with 2 minutes left in the game, he hits Randy Moss, 6-yard touchdown pass. They're ahead. They're back where they belong, right? And then 75 yards later, Eli Manning had driven on Bill Belichick's defense almost the length of the field, 75 yards for a touchdown. For a touchdown?
I guarantee you.
To win the game?
I'll go ask any coach right now. Whew. I said, my defense is going to hold. It will hold Tampa, will hold Arizona, will hold Aaron Rodgers to 17 points. That's all they're going to get the entire game. I'm only going to give them 17 points. What do you think every head coach is going to say? We're going to win that game. Bill Belichick held Eli Manning to 17 points. Tom Brady, the GOAT, got you 14. That's not enough.
What was the score with 2 minutes left in the game?
Not enough.
14-10, New England.
Hold on.
14-10.
How many times has Tom Brady did that? How many times you say that's too much time? How many times?
It's Eli Manning. He did not have a ring at that point. It's Eli Manning.
Guess what? Every quarterback that has a ring at some point didn't have a ring.
Yeah. Who you like, Eli or Tom Brady?
Skip.
Who do you like, Bill Belichick or Eli Manning with 2 minutes left in the game and 75 yards away, and you got to score 7, not 3? Yes. Right?
And Asante Samuels did not have the game winning in his hand?
You could argue.
What can Bill Belichick do about that? Bill Belichick had the right situation. Eli Manning threw the ball away, and Asante was trying to worry about his feet, having his feet inbound, and he dropped it. The game's over. The game's over. Coach Belichick, you win the game 14-10, and all you would have talked about was Tom Brady leading that drive down the field. You wouldn't have mentioned Coach Belichick held a team to 10 points, just like you did. And that's my thing, Skip.
First 6 Super Bowls, all of them won with a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime. That is unheard of.
Let me ask you a question.
That is impossibly great.
Let me ask you a question. How can you get to have a game-winning drive if the defense doesn't have you in position to do that?
Obviously, you have to have some defense, but the defense let them down in 2 Super Bowls.
The Skip. All you think about is what Tom Brady didn't win. Tom Brady could have easily lost. He could have easily lost that Carolina Super Bowl. He could have easily lost the Rams Super Bowl. He could have easily lost the Seattle Super Bowl. But all you do is highlight his win.
Game-winning drives.
Yeah. So you see what you did? It's all game-winning drives. Okay, when he lose, it's Coach Belichick's fault. That's all I'm saying.
Well, sometimes they're in concert. I told you the first game, hand in hand, defense, offense. But in the end, what won the game? The offense. Brady won the game. Okay.
How can Brady win the game, Skip? So if you're down, Brady, I give Brady a 2-minute drive, and he's down 40-14. What good is that 2-minute drive? Well, Coach Belichick had that defense didn't allow them to score in the fourth quarter. Okay, he's down 28-3. Coach Belichick pitches a shutout for 35, 36 minutes of the rest of the game to allow Tom to do what he did. He took the ball away. Dante Hightower sacked him. He got to go 18 yards for a touchdown. You don't mention any of that.
How many Super Bowls do you think Bill Belichick would have won without Tom Brady?
How many do you believe Tom Brady would have won without Belichick? We'll never know.
Several. Like 4 or 5. I don't know. I give Belichick some credit. I told you, 25% of the credit. Belichick would have won 0 Super Bowls without Tom Brady.
Well, this is what we know.
0.
We know Tom Brady has won a Super Bowl without Coach Belichick. Yep. But you have to go back to the origins. You have to go back to the beginning. Do you believe? I don't believe that, Skip. I don't believe Tom Brady would be Tom Brady without Coach Belichick. Definitely Coach Belichick wouldn't be Coach Belichick without Tom Brady. But to say Tom still would have got 6 Super Bowls without Coach Belichick, I do not believe that to be the case.
Well, all I know is now Belichick's got TB2, because that should have been what he trademarked.
He got Mac.
It's TB the second. Tom Brady the second.
MJ10, and all I know is I'm getting me a T-shirt.
Are you?
Yeah, I sure am.
Good for you, because he has revealed himself to be beyond Baker Mayfield. Congratulations.
Skip.
Here we go.
First of all, you know
he
all
has sent the message. I got this. I will be at least as good as he was.
No, that's not what he did.
It is.
No mercy.
Don't miss your chance to win $25,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money tonight playing Fox Bet Super 6. The Thursday Night Football jackpot has been hit 5 times this season, and you could be the next lucky winner. Scan the QR code now and answer 6 questions about Cowboys Saints for your shot to win. It is free to play. Now, after After winning 6 in a row, Dallas has now lost 3 of their last 4 games to sit at 7-4. They will head into tonight's game against New England looking for a much-needed win before playing 4 games against division opponents down the stretch. Shannon, what's the Cowboys' final regular season record?
Well, you know, Skip, I had you guys, B-U-M-S, at 10-7. I'm going to amend that. I'm going to say you go 11-6. I got
11-6.
I got you going 11-6. I got you going 4-2 down the stretch. You're going to lose to Arizona. You can book that. We're not going right down in ink.
I got it.
And you're going to lose one of these division games. I'm going to say it's probably going to be out of Washington. If I had to guess, I would say you lose to Washington or the Giants. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. But those are going to be two.
You realize we have 3 division games left on the road and 4 total. So you say we're going to go 3-1 in the 4 division games?
Yeah. I think y'all gonna be okay with the division. I just need to make sure, because I want you guys to be in that 4th spot. So you get somebody like the Rams come in there and beat the brakes off you come playoff times. Now, you should be favored in 5 of the 6 games. I don't know if you're going to be favored against Arizona. Arizona will probably be a 1.5 point favorite when they play you guys. But I got you going 11-6. You're going to be a little better than I thought. I didn't expect you to win the division, even though you're going to win a bad division. It's the weakest division in football. There's no question about that. But you Cowboys, and you always somehow will find a way to do Cowboys things. So you know what? I'm going to say 11-6. Ask me next week, and I might go 10-7 again.
11-6?
Yeah.
What did you have before the show? I don't know.
11-6.
11-6?
Yeah.
Please God, give me 11-6.
Skip, you already 7-4. Damn.
Have you been watching Washington? And by the way, you're the one who bet me 10 cases of Diet Mountain Dew before the year started, and I gave you TF the field.
You did.
So you got all these teams, and you're saying 11-6, it's over. You're just trying to jinx it?
No, I'm not trying to jinx it, but I would feel a lot better had you lose this game and Washington beat the Raiders on Sunday. Now, we're going to have another topic next week. You in trouble.
Okay, so help me out.
Okay.
Did you just watch the month of November, what my Cowboys gave you a November not to remember, but to completely forget, except for one aberration, outlier, lying game, 43-3 over Atlanta?
Yeah.
Did you see my team against Denver? Did you see my team at Kansas City? Did you see my team on Thanksgiving against those Raiders in overtime?
Saw all those games.
You saw all those games,
what I saw.
and you're still saying 11-6 run away with the East is what you're saying. That would run away with it.
Y'all already done ran away with it.
Well, we're up 2 games.
Exactly. Think about that, Skip. You lost 3 of your 4 games, and you still have a 2-game lead. Everybody else that's lost 2 games in a row, look at the Rams. They've lost games in a row. Now they're 2 games down. You lose 2 games, and you still lose 3 games, and you're 2 games up still.
Have you been watching that Washington football team that looks like a real live football team with a quarterback who's just your basic little, he's either Tyler, he's turned back into Taylor.
He's Taylor Heineke.
Now, Taylor Heineke says the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, so he has been blessed with his real name now. He gets to be Taylor. Okay, way to go. He's a little gamer, he's a little baller, he's a little playmaker, and he just keeps making 3rd down plays that beat Tom Brady and then beat Cam Newton in his fairy tale return to Carolina and then beat Russell Wilson on Monday Night Football. I fear them. I respect them. I'm just not sure we can beat them either time, but I definitely don't think we can beat them there next week at Washington. We get the little 10-day hiatus break, the mini bye. But I don't think we can win that game. I don't think we can win at Giants because they're still a talented football team. You just said it's going to be one of those games.
Yes.
Okay? Because defensively, they have talent. They still appear to be well coached to me. And you never know what you're going to get from the quarterback. Now he's got some neck issue going on. But still, they've got firepower on offense. They've got Saquon. They got Galladay. And on any given Sunday, I promise you, they can rise up and beat you at home.
Do you realize what
we
you're
just
saying?
saw them beat Philadelphia at home when Philly looked like they were the hottest team in the division.
Hold on,
Am I right?
Skip, you just lost 3 or 4, and you picking them to lose to Saints tonight, so that'll be 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. You got them picked to lose at Washington. That'll be 5. Hold on.
At Giants, L. Then Washington at home, I'm going to give us that game because it's an arch rivalry. I think it's the greatest longtime rivalry in pro football. So I'm going to give us that game. You've already written off Arizona because you say Arizona's got something for you.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, you know they own
you know
y'all.
what? They're just better than we are.
Yeah, of course.
And they've played better all year, and they don't even need their starting quarterback or their star receiver, right?
Yep.
They just go beat people everywhere they go. It's like, how did you do that?
Right.
How'd you do that? Well, it looks like they're vying for the #1 seed. So what do all the kids who grew up in Texas as Cowboy fans, what do? They come back to haunt the Cowboys. Somehow they relish taking it out on the Cowboys who maybe didn't draft them, or I don't know what it is, but like Kyler's got something in for the Cowboys, and he grew up right in the shadow of the Dallas Cowboys right there in the Dallas area.
Okay, I want to amend my pick.
Okay.
10-7.
10-7?
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon Sharpe.
I want to go with my original pick in the regular at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
10-7.
Okay.
You talk me into it.
Then I've told you from the start, I believe this division will come down to final game at Philadelphia, and I like my team to go win that game. As much as I like Jalen Hurts, it'll be a battle, and we saw what Dak didn't do there at the end of the 2019 season because he lost, 17-9 was the score.
Yeah,
right?
17-9, yeah.
And remember, Amari got yanked at the end of the game just because he was running half-hearted routes, and to Jason Garrett's credit, he did one gutsy thing. As a Dallas Cowboy coach, he just said, you come over here and stand by me because I'm going to put Tavon Austin in the game late, right?
Right.
Okay, so I believe that we reverse that and win the game at Philadelphia to barely eke out a 9-8 record and steal the division.
No. You had them 12-5.
I know, but what just happened? November happened. What am I tell you, I say on this show what I see. I see nothing. Do I see signs of life? Do I see evidence? Do I see proof of life? I don't.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since you say what you see, what did you see in the preseason to make you think they would go in 12-5?
Because when I look at them on paper, they just look loaded to me.
Did you see them in the preseason?
As we start,
how many games they win?
Well, the quarterback didn't play any in the preseason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you say I'm getting healthier, if Amari gets over his COVID cough and CD is over his concussion,
right?
And now Cedric Wilson, by the way, is out. He's got an ankle injury, so that's a little bit of a loss tonight. If in fact, Amari,
but you got Gallup, so now you back
Gallup
home.
Finally came back, but he hasn't been back since game 1, right?
Yeah,
so
but
he just came back.
Right. He was back against Kansas City, and he had over 100 yards on Thursday.
But we didn't have him from game 1 all the way up to whatever the Kansas City game was, right? And then Dak missed him on the first throw of the game.
Right.
Welcome back, right?
Right.
Okay, so DeMarcus Lawrence, we think will come back and play sparingly. And then Randy Gregory will come back at Washington. And we think that maybe Neville Gallimore will come back for the interior of the pass rush. So I like all that if you get healthy. But do you play healthy? Do you just live up to what on paper tells you? No. They haven't at all.
I got you going 3-3 down the stretch.
3-3,
yep.
and I've got 2-4. Okay, to go 9-8.
Yep.
And mine's way more realistic than yours.
No.
9-8, and I still think 9-8 weirdly will win the division.
Yeah, of course.
And then that's it.
But I got
win 10 cases. 9 wins, 10 cases. Thank you very much.
Monday, I can concede.
Nope.
What you mean?
Not gonna let you off the hook this time. You have ridiculed my team too much. You ridiculed them so much last Friday that it's over.
Hold on. Time out. You just ridiculed them.
It's like, what's the old saying?
You can talk about it, but I can't.
Yeah, like I can criticize my wife, but you better not, right?
You just said they go in 2-4 down the stretch.
Yeah,
they gonna lose this game, that game. Your team is not very good.
I'm being realistic. I'm being an objective Cowboy fan. I know that's an oxymoron, objective Cowboy fan, but I am.
They ain't no objective. There's no objectivity when you're dealing with Cowboy fans.
Okay, well, I say what I've just seen, and that's what I've just seen. That's realistic finish.
Well, I think y'all win, lose, win, lose, win.
Okay, 9-8, home playoff game. Bring on the Rams, whoever it is. I'm ready.
I'm going.
Okay.
No mercy.
Saturday, after finally beating Ohio State, Jim Harbaugh leads his second-ranked Michigan Wolverines into their first ever Big Ten championship game, looking to punch their ticket to the playoffs against number 13 Iowa. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Now, Taysom Hill is starting for the Saints tonight, but he's going to have his work cut out for him. We've got some breaking news from multiple sources this morning that Alvin Kamara will be inactive for the game, leaving New Orleans shorthanded on offense, while Dallas is getting some of their key starters like CeeDee Lamb back on the field. Skip, does this change your prediction?
Shannon Sharpe, I hereby change my prediction. I told you as we opened the show, if I heard for a fact, if I saw for a fact that Alvin Kamara could not go tonight, I'll go Cowboys.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Cowboys because he is the one I fear the most. He practiced all week, but they said limited.
Right.
So he practiced every day leading up to this.
Clearly not well.
Clearly not. But usually if you do practice, you have a pretty good chance of playing. And I don't know what happened. He has a knee injury. Mm-hmm. He suffered it in the loss to Atlanta, 27-25 at the Superdome. Mm-hmm. He did not play in the next 3 games, and they played pretty miserably in the next 3 games. It was close at Tennessee. It wasn't close at Philadelphia, and then it was really not close. Buffalo on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, they got buffaloed.
They got buffaloed. So Kamara is a difference maker. Mm-hmm. Kamara is a game changer. To me, as all purpose goes, he's the best, mm-hmm. where he can run it and he can get loose catching it mm-hmm. like nobody else in the league. Mm-hmm. But he has to obviously have his burst.
Right.
And clearly he does not have his burst because he can't go at all.
Correct.
That changes and levels the playing field back to my Cowboys. So I predicted 23-20 Saints. I'll reverse my score to 23-20 Dallas.
Right.
I will reverse the previous segment that we did. How does Dallas finish the regular season? I give them this one tonight, but I still have them losing at Washington, at Giants, beating Washington at home, losing to Arizona, then winning at Philadelphia to go and equal your pick, which was 10-7.
Okay.
I got them now going 3-3 down the stretch.
Okay.
Okay?
I think we both. That's what I had. I had them going 3-3 down the stretch.
Okay, 10-7.
Right. I'm gonna stay with my. I'm gonna stay with my prediction. Cowboys 24-13. I thought. I'm sure the uncertainty with Alvin Kamara being out, maybe Wade, but I thought it had more to do with the Cowboys and the number of players and coaches that they had out, Skip, that was swaying the line to go. It started 7 and then dropped down to 4.5. Now it's bounced back up to 5 points. But because I don't look at Taysom Hill as a guy that swings the line very much. I don't see him as a substantial upgrade over Trevor Siemian, because Trevor Siemian played well. I mean, he had that one game. He almost brought him back against Tennessee, Skip. But for whatever reason, the wheels have come off against Philly. They've come off against Buffalo.
Yep.
And so with that being said, Cowboys, this should be, but I don't really know what I'm going to get from the Cowboys, because I know what they should do. But what they should do and then what they actually do come game time is something entirely different. Now, we know the Saints have a very good rush defense. I mean, I can't tell over the last 2 weeks.
No.
But
they are still number 1 in the NFL in yards per carry allowed.
Right.
3.4 allowed. So people just have not been able to run on them, but the last 2 scores would indicate something is wrong.
But here's the thing. The Cowboys, what they do, if they fall behind, they're like, oh, man, we can't run the ball. So now they just start throwing the ball all over the yard, as opposed to sticking with it. Even when you're down a score or you're down 2 scores, which, 2 scores could be, 10 points. That's 2 scores. 9 points could be 2 scores. But that's not because that's all they were down against Kansas City, Skip. Yep. And for some reason, they abandoned the running game. The question is, I also have, Jerry says Zeke is going to have a substantial workload. What does that mean? Now, we talked about the report that Zeke is nursing a knee and an ankle, and maybe his load needs to be reduced. Jerry says his workload is about to be increased. So what is it? You want Tony Pollard to play even more?
I do.
So I don't know. I just think the thing is that McCarthy, you like losing McCarthy, although hopefully he comes out on the other side of COVID better. You're like, that's not a big,
No.
Having Dan Quinn fill in for Mike McCarthy is not like he's making decisions that, you know what, we've seen coaches make decisions that, influence the game. We haven't seen those decisions that Mike McCarthy has made for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to stick with my prediction. 24-13. I had a suspicion that Alvin Kamara was not going to play, considering that knee probably worse than what they've been letting on him within limited practice. What does that mean? Either he practiced or he's not. When you start telling me limited, Skip, he ain't playing. He ain't playing.
And the 2 tackles are questionable.
Yeah.
Armstead and Ramsey. So
now they got no Kamara. They got to possibly have no tackles, and you expect them to be able to hold and keep Michael Parsons out the backfield.
Okay, but what do they have on defense? They have Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
They have
Davis,
Malcolm Jenkins. They have Marcus Williams. They have Bradley Roby. They have,
they got Cam Jordan.
Yep, they got Cam Jordan. They got Quan Alexander. They got a good defense that has been giving up too many big plays, shockingly.
Right.
But they have a top 5 defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, who has done 3 numbers on Tom Brady in the last 2 years that get my attention.
I didn't even do another.
Am I right? Well, he's capable of doing that. What's Tom Brady done in 3 of the last 4 games since he's been in Tampa against New Orleans? He's had QBRs of 33 in his opening game last year, 4 on that Sunday night debacle, remember, at Tampa.
He had a Prescott, huh?
Yeah, he had a Prescott. He had number 4. And then this year he was 55 and threw the late pick 6 to little P.J. Williams, who got loose for 40 yards and scored.
Right.
So that's an average QBR of 31, scaled 0 to 100. In those 3 losses, he had the 1 win in the playoff game, obviously, and his QBR was 70 in that. But the defense gave him a lot of help, too, obviously. So the point is, they are capable of rising up against a good quarterback and just making him look awful.
Right. But I think the thing for me, Skip, is that I think you have a lot more confidence in Taysom Hill than I have in Taysom Hill.
Well, I saw him win 3 out of his 4 starts last year and complete 72% of his passes in those 4 games.
No, that defense, the one you're talking about, they played outstanding.
Okay, 4 touchdown passes to only 2 interceptions. He ran in those 4 games for 209 yards. That's pretty good for a quarterback. So he's capable. He scares me. I'm still queasy about this game because I still say that Sean Payton gets his up for beating Dallas as he does for anybody on the schedule.
That ain't not, Skip. You don't have to be get up because you guys always come out lacking, especially if it's somebody that has potential. Now, y'all come out of Carolina, y'all came out firing on all cylinders. Philly, y'all came out on all cylinders. Beat the brakes off the Falcons.
That was like years ago.
Exactly.
Right?
But what did you do in those games? You ran the ball.
Okay. So why are you picking the Dallas Cowboys tonight? Because it makes no sense. You make every case against it, and then you say, but I'm still picking Dallas because I fear Dallas, but I'm trying to jinx Dallas.
No, Skip. I just don't see. I don't have the belief in Taysom Hill that you do. I have not seen. Yeah, I've seen a couple of games where this offense is explosive. I saw what they did against Tampa. I saw what New Orleans did against Green Bay opening day in Jacksonville. But I haven't seen enough of that. And I saw a lot of that had to do with Jameis Winston. Yep. I don't have any confidence in Taysom Hill. I mean, he averaged in his 4 starts last year, he averaged 46. You told me 50.
QBR.
Yeah, QBR. 0 to 100. 50 is average. 46 is below average. So he played below average. His defense was outstanding in those games.
Well, that's about where Mac Jones has been playing.
There you go.
Well, that's what he has been.
So you saying? Are you saying Taysom Hill's better than Mac Jones?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
But I'd like to see more of him because a guy I have a lot of respect for named Sean Payton just gave him a huge contract, incentive-laden.
It's funny money.
It's the kind of contract you give to a guy that you think can be your starting quarterback.
Funny money.
Because if he becomes your starter, he's going to make $90 million over 5 years.
Money.
Phony money.
I tell you what. I thought you said you need to see a little bit more of Mac Jones. You're going to see a lot of him over the next 15 years. Probably a couple of Super Bowls.
So you're saying that Sean Payton is all wet when it comes to Taysom Hill. Like he has no idea what he's looking at.
No, I know. I'm saying I don't see. I mean, like I said, Sean Payton, he would know better. He's closer. He sees it. But I have not seen in the games that I've watched him play, I don't see an every down quarterback that's going to get you to where you need to be. Because that's how I'm looking at quarterback. So what is it? Are you just trying to, or do you think you got a quarterback that can get you to the next level? Because I think they're drafting quarterbacks and taking quarterbacks that they believe they can win them championships. Do you believe Taysom Hill can get them there? I don't.
Well, apparently Sean Payton does.
Okay.
And for his career, Taysom Hill is 72% completion. Is that good?
Man, that man checking them to dump down the little screen. Man, Skip, he running gadgets. We're gonna find out when he's an every down quarterback if he's still at 72%.
Well, I hope he's way under that tonight, or I'm going to be in trouble, because in the end, even though I have DeMarcus Lawrence back, I don't know how much I'll get out of him conditioning-wise, which brings me to Amari Cooper, who Mike McCarthy says is still coming off the COVID list, under the weather, and he still has, according to McCarthy, a cough. He's coughing, which makes me cough.
So you just said both of the tackles could possibly be out. And you got Micah.
They've been playing, but then they didn't practice.
Do you really want a tackle that's so iffy, trying to block Michael Parsons on that carpet? That's what you're hoping for, huh?
Well, that's why they'll try to run it down our throat, because Mike is not great against the run. He's much better, obviously, attacking the passer.
Well, I mean, it's not like y'all great at running the football either, Skip. I mean, you're going to try to run some with a Taysom Hill, but now that I know he's going to play, it's easier to prepare for a guy that I know he's going to play 55, 60 snaps as opposed to 8 to 10.
Okay, so here's what it boils down to. It's quarterback versus quarterback. It's Dak Prescott versus Taysom Hill.
So in other words, basically.
And Dak is going to have one arm tied behind his back, because I don't think he's going to have much of Amari tonight, and he's not going to have Cedric Wilson.
What about CD? CD's the number one.
CD and Gallup. That should be enough, even against a very good defense on paper. Not on the scoreboard lately, but on paper, it's still a very good defense. That's good enough. You have enough firepower. You should win this game 23-20, and I believe they will.
People at home, I just want you to know, this is what Skip Bayless said, that Dak Prescott is only 3 points better than Taysom Hill.
Yep.
That's what he's picked. He said Cowboys 20.
Reminds me, defense has to play.
No. Skip Bayless told you guys that Dak Prescott is only a guy that makes $75 million is only 3 points better than a guy that makes $6 million. That's what Skip just told you, because he got it 23-20.
Wait a second. I mean, Taysom Hill has a deal on the table that's worth $90 million.
He ain't gonna get that this year.
Okay, well,
your guy got a deal on the table 4 years, 150.
And I told you the day he signed it, it was too much money.
No.
I'm happy he's still a Cowboy, but it's
You didn't say that when y'all was 6-1. You like Dak, Jerry got a bargain.
Well,
now all of a sudden
I said he was living up to 75.
Okay.
And then since then he has lived down to 75, because I've said a couple of times that performance was worth 75 cents. Didn't I say that twice?
I can't believe you.
Yep. Denver, didn't I say it? Didn't I say it at Kansas City?
But you wishy-washy.
I'm not wishy-washy.
Yeah, the man.
What are you talking about?
The man had won 6 or 7.
Okay, and I said, way to go, way to go. Right. But is it a 7-game season? No.
I'm glad you... Hold on. Oh. You do that all the time in the fourth quarter. You thought, he balled out. He was a warrior in the fourth quarter. Game on the fourth quarter? Or 3 quarters?
Are we talking about Brady or Dak?
I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about, the Calorie King.
Yeah, okay.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott's comeback season has been nothing short of spectacular. He's top 10 in passing yards and touchdowns, but most importantly, Dak has the Cowboys in position to make the playoffs for the first time since 2018. So, Shannon, based off this season so far, where would you rank Dak among NFL quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think he's probably at the bottom of the top 10. I don't think anybody thinks he's better than Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady. I would have him. I got Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Lamar, Kyler, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Even though Matthew Stafford's going through these struggles, I still believe those guys are better than Dak. Skip, I think Dak has just been in the league far too long, and I know I got some young guys in here like Herbert and Burrow, but Dak has been in the league far too long to have the inconsistent, the huge swings in which he has.
So you have him 10th just to nail that down?
Yeah. I think that. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You named 9, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So I got him bottom of the 10, bottom of the top 10. I don't think anybody thinks he's a top 5 quarterback, but I just think the swings in which he plays with is like, come on, Dak, you better than that. Especially at this. at this juncture of his career.
Yep.
So that's why I have him at Skip. He's 17th in QBR. He's behind guys like Wentz, Cousins, Tua, Mac Jones, and you have little to respect for Tua, and his QBR is lower than Tua's. Jimmy G has a better QBR. Mac Jones has a better QBR.
Yep.
And he's played well. You look at the game against Tampa. He played really well.
He did.
I think he threw for like 400 yards that game.
With no preseason.
Carolina, played well. Atlanta. And then we watch him against KC and we watch him against Denver, where he played bad throughout the totality. And for the Raiders, for the better part of 3 quarters, he was bad against the Raiders. And then he turned it on in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And they still come up short. So that's where I am with this situation, Skip. I believe he's like bottom of the top 10. I think everybody expected him to take that next level, but it's going to be hard for him to crack that top 10 with the inconsistency in which he plays with. So I got him bottom of the top 10.
Okay. I'll be the first to admit, my man Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott, baffles me. He perplexes me. He often torments me. He takes me to the top and drops me on my head down at the bottom. I go from agony to ecstasy to agony to ecstasy because he is wildly inconsistent. I don't know what's behind door number 3, 4, 5. I don't know, because one day, as you just pointed out, he opens up the season against the GOAT at the GOAT and plays him just right to the finish, right?
Yeah.
Looked great doing it with no preseason whatsoever.
For what, 430 in that game?
Yeah, he's sensational in that game.
Yeah.
Just left the GOAT a little too much time,
right?
Or we might be having a different conversation.
Right.
And you mentioned the Carolina game and this game and that game. The Atlanta game was just a tour de force.
Right.
But that followed up a game against Denver that was just pathetic.
Where he had like 100 yards passing going. No, he was
79
going into the fourth quarter.
McCarthy left him in. I said, let him get back on the horse and try to ride it.
Right.
I'm into Yellowstone right now, so I'm into all that imagery. But the point is, he let him ride that horse, and he threw 2 late touchdown passes to a receiver, Malik Turner, I'd never even heard of at that point, to get them back to 30-16. What am I supposed to do with that? Well, not a lot. So, to your point, I made a list. Did you have Josh Allen on your list?
I did.
You did, okay. So, my list is pretty close to yours. Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes. I got Kyler up there. I'll give you Matt Stafford. I don't trust him long term, but you can't argue with what he's done so far. And in QBR, he's number 2 right now. Okay. Justin Herbert, I give you. Lamar, did you have Lamar?
I had Lamar.
You have to, because they're 8-3. They're the 1 seed right now in the AFC, and it's because of him. And I know he just threw 4 picks on Sunday Night Football, but they won the game.
And how about they're down. They got Devontae Freeman. They had Le'Veon Bell. They got guys like, you still playing running back? His offensive line has been in flux, Skip. And he's
still there, okay? Because he's just that good. He's a former MVP of this league. I'm sorry, he's up in the top 10. Josh Allen, I'm still not completely sold. I'm going big picture, playoff picture, but he's 6th in QBR. I got to have him in my top 10. You mentioned Joe Burrow. Pro Football Focus just grades him out right now 3rd in the league, and I can't argue with that. Which brings me to the 10th spot. You got Dak there, and as much as I hate to admit it, you know who I have there because I can't argue with the numbers? Kirk Cousins. Because I can't. Look what he's done. He's thrown 23 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
He's been lights out this year.
Grades him as the number 2 quarterback in the league so far. Well, can I sweep that under the carpet?
No.
I can't, because it's just too good.
Right.
He's kept them barely afloat, okay? So I'm going to give him my 10 spot, and then on Thanksgiving, I had to sit back and watch a guy named Derek Carr go into Jerry World and outplay Dakota Rain Prescott. Well, look at what Derek Carr's done.
He leads the league in passing.
He does, and he's 10th in QBR. So I have him 11th on my list, which brings me to Dak. I got him at 12th. So, and that's about where he belongs. But he makes $75 million because, as you said, that's just what the market dictated, right? It just said, you got to play, and they slow played because I don't think they bought it. I don't think they bought in. I don't think they believed, and they thought they had a deal done in early 2019. Jerry said it's imminent after the opening game against the Giants, and all of a sudden, Todd France went to war with Jerry Jones, and Jerry did not like it, but he couldn't figure a way out of it. I thought maybe they'd let him go and just take one of the young quarterbacks and say, let's go. I told him, if you really think you got a problem, go get Tom Brady. He's on the market, but apparently they didn't want to do that.
And the thing is, Skip, if you look at his weaponry, it rivals all the guys that we got up here. It might be better. He has better weapons than Lamar.
Oh, by far.
As a total, he has better weapons than Joe Burrow.
Yep.
And now that Robert Woods is gone, I can make a case that he has a better offensive weapons than Matthew Stafford.
You could.
Now, Mahomes with you look at Rodgers, he has better weapons than Rodgers.
Yeah, but Devontae sort of cancels everything. He's so good.
Skip, you guys got two tight ends. Remember, he lost his Tanyan. He lost Tanyan.
Yeah, we lost Blake Jarwin, but
Schultz. I believe Schultz is a better receiving tight end than Jarwin.
Okay, I got it.
But and that's the thing. It's just like I'm looking like Dak. You should be. I mean, it shouldn't be a discussion. Okay, the top 5. Okay, that's a tough top 5 to crack.
Yep.
But 6, 7. You should be able to roll Dak Prescott's name off your tongue and not even look back, not even think about it. But the mere fact, and I know how you feel about first cousins, and you got him ahead of Dak, and you had little to do.
Just going by the numbers that you say. That's too good. Like Dak's 22-7 right now, 17th QBR, and Kirk Cousins is 23-3. Ranked number 2 by Pro Football Focus. I can't argue out of that. And I also can't defend this. Dak Prescott is now 0-4 this year as the starting quarterback when they don't run for 100-plus yards. Well, one time they didn't run for 101 at Minnesota with, ironically, Cooper Rush. His last name is Rush, and they didn't rush in that game. But Cooper Rush won that game. Well, what am I supposed to do with that?
And his defense is playing well enough to win him some of these games, because he got an outstanding defense on third down, which means they're getting off the field, but you're putting him right back on the field because you're doing a lot of 3 and out, and you're not getting the ball into the end zone.
So here's Jerry's quote this week, Jerry Jones' quote on Dak on Jerry's radio show. He says, "I'm glad we got him, boy. He's one of the best. He got us back in position to win against the Raiders, and I thought he was the deciding difference to get us back in position to have a chance to win that game, and that's what we asked him to do." Wait a second. You ask him to keep falling behind and then get you back in position to win a game that you lost? That's $75 million worth? That's not my definition of $75 million.
You can't crash me and then call the police like, well, he did call the... No, bro, you the reason why you had to call the police because you hit me. You the reason why he keep bringing you from behind, Jerry. He's the reason he put you in there. Do you realize that Dak gets the ball in the first and second quarter too, Jerry? Skip, but you know how Jerry is. Even though Jerry done told him, man, he wasn't worth the money, that you got me. I wasn't supposed to pay you this money.
He told him that to his face.
And then he turns around and says, boy, I'm glad we got him. Hold on, how you going to say, man, I shouldn't have brought that. Boy, I'm glad I brought this.
Well,
man, that's only Jerry. Jerry got to spin it, Skip. He got to come out so make him look good. Like, yeah, man, I got a bargain. Now, if you watch next year, going into next season, he got a bargain for Dak. Considering where these prices are going.
I got it. But long term, big picture, do I think I could win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? Yes, I do. But you got to surround him. You got to be able to run.
Well, damn, Skip, how much more you need to surround him? He got 3 top receivers. He got one of the best offensive lines in football. They can run the football when they give him touches. What more does he need? Look at his defense.
That offensive line is getting old and battered.
They are getting, Skip, that's a lot of collisions because they ran the ball a lot. This goes back to DeMarco Murray running the football. And then Zeke, his first 3 years of running the football, there's a lot of wear and tear on Tyron Smith. When's the last time Tyron Smith played all 16, Skip?
Well, not this year.
Not last year, not the year before that either. So you're right. They got a lot of wear and tear on them. But I don't know what else you want him surrounded with. Damn, Skip. At some point in time, your quarterback got to make up for his lack of surroundings.
I don't think they're going to run for 100 yards tonight, which means he has to outplay Taysom Hill. Can he do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when he can't outplay Taysom, first of all, Skip, I don't believe they're going to run it. I think, the over-under, we had over-under of the 280, I think 280 yards.
Passing for Dak.
I think he's going to be over that because the Cowboys aren't going to run the football. Because they're going to try to run it one time, they'll get stopped for no yards, and Kellen Moore said, we can't run it, so let's just throw it.
For 233, his last visit there in Game 4, 2019. And scored a grand total of 10 points and lost 12-10.
No mercy. There's been some speculation all week that Zeke Elliott could give up some of his touches as he deals with a banged-up knee. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, both Zeke and Tony Pollard had the same over-under for rushing yards set at 45.5. So, Shannon, who has more yards?
Well, there's a lot of pressure from Cowboy Nation.
Me?
Yeah, exactly. To give Tony Pollard more carries. Jerry said he thought his workload was going to be a lot more intense than it was on Thanksgiving Day. But I wouldn't change a thing. I just think the thing is, look, they have Fox better set the over-under basically at the same. Normally because...
They're exactly the same. That's like shocking to me. I didn't see that.
Because they believe Zeke will get more carries, have less yards per carry, while Tony Pollard would have less carries but a higher yards per carry, which means, but here's another thing, Skip, when you add those two together, that's still not 100 yards. No. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well for you. So you need Fox Bet to kind of up these totals, these prop bets.
Yep.
Look, I just think the thing is that they're going to try to give Tony Pollard more carries, Skip. But if I look at Tony Pollard had 2 games in his entire college career in which he carried the ball 10 times or more. Twice. And somehow you want to put all this food on his plate. You know, sometimes, Skip, eat what you got.
But he was more of a slot receiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I'll say because of Jerry wanting to get Tony Pollard more involved, and they hear the cries from the Cowboy faithful, led by you-know-who over there, that Tony Pollard is more explosive than Zeke, and as you said, you believe Zeke is washed now, is that Tony Pollard probably will get, I'm going to say he gets 12 to 15 carries, and he has 65, 70 yards. And Zeke will have probably 10 to 14 carries, and he'll have somewhere around 55, 60 yards.
Okay, well, that's over 100.
Yeah.
Oh, then we win. We got it, right?
It all depends on...
That's golden when you do that, right?
But you want Tony Pollard to have like 20 carries and Zeke to have like 5.
I would go with that. I would go with sitting down Zeke for a game. Just let him heal. He's got a banged up knee.
But Jerry said he was fine. What did Jerry say on his radio show? Zeke is ready for a big workload. That's what he's a serious. I think he used the term serious workload.
I think Jerry uses his radio show to try to play games with the opposition to plant seeds of this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Dak is going to play on Sunday night at Minnesota. Nope, he's not going to play. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just gamesmanship.
He's sowing seeds of disinformation.
Yes, that is correct. So, Shannon Sharpe, what have I seen from my football team? I was ecstatic over the first 6 games of the year because we were running the football down everyone's throat. We averaged 32 carries a game for the first 6 games. We were second in the league in rushing because we were averaging 197 a game. 197 yards? That has kind of a Super Bowl ring to it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you won a lot of games running with that because you own the time of possession.
Then we hit the wall, and when we hit it hard, and it gave us a concussion because we just fell right on our face with a concussion because over the last 5 games, and that includes 114 against Atlanta, we've averaged only 23 carries a game for a grand total of 83 yards a game. So for the first 6, we were 197 a game. Now last 5, 83 yards a game, including one 100-yard game.
Right.
What's that all about? What happened? Is it the offensive line? Did Zeke hit the wall? Mostly Zeke just hit the wall. He had those 3 sensational games, and it was games 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And he was fresh, and he was running hot, and it was bounce back Zeke, and he was happy, and he was excited, and he was cutting up on the sideline, and then he started to get banged up.
Oh, look, give me those stats. What did they have in the first 5 games? How many rush attempts?
32.
32 for 197. And then that dropped down to what?
23.
So you took 10 rush attempts off that. So what do you expect them to do? You expect them to still run for 197, getting 10 fewer rush attempts per game?
Yep. Well, that's what happened. Okay, well, whose fault is that? Is it Kellen Moore's?
Yeah, he called the plays.
Is it Mike McCarthy's? Is it a big picture decision before a pregame strategy?
First of all, now, Kellen Moore did say the first game that, hey, I call X amount of runs, Dak audibled out of them.
Yep.
He hasn't since said that. So is Dak taking it upon himself to audible out of those? Are they not calling run plays? But, Skip, it's just hard. You look at the number of carries Zeke was getting to start the season as opposed to what he's getting now. You can't expect the same production when you're getting less carries. How?
I believe that Tony Pollard has a little bit of Kamara in him. He has that kind of explosive. He has a gear that Zeke obviously no longer has.
But how you going to give him all the Skip? So you still want him to run back kicks and give you great field position on the kick return?
You know, Jerry said after the game the other night on Thanksgiving, he said, our game plan was to give him 25 touches. Tony Pollard, that's what he said. He told the media that. Now, I don't think that was gamesmanship. I think it was Jerry trying to CYA, cover you-know-what.
But let me ask you this, Skip. Okay, you give him the allotted carries that you want him to have. You believe he can have somewhere between 15 to 20 carries. Throw in another 5 to 6 pass attempts. Are you still going to have him on kick return? Because he's exposed. You remember, you got back in the game with that 100-yard kick return that he gave you.
I agree. Well, obviously, if you're going to give him 25 offensive touches, you can't have him kick return.
Well, you going to sacrifice your field position on kick return on it?
Well, we did to start overtime anyway. What was that about? He made it out to like the 8 or whatever it was. I don't even know what happened.
Well, when your guy got blocked, he got blocked in the back, and he got tackled.
And he got tackled. Okay, well, help me out. Okay, what did the Saints do best? And I realize it hasn't manifested itself the last 2 games, but they are leading the NFL in yards rushing per carry allowed.
And you factor those last 2 games in there.
Okay, 3.4. Still, they lead the league. Yeah. They average, every time you try to run arm, you get 3.4 on average.
Right.
Well, that won't get it done, right? Okay, so what do I expect? This is not the game for a big breakout Tony Pollard game to me, because you might be able to flip it to Zeke, flip it to Tony Pollard to get him loose on the flanks a little bit. But I got Pollard going 15 carries for 50 yards, and I got Zeke going 13 carries for 40 yards, and I got them with 90 yards rushing.
Man, hold on. You know how many carries that is?
Yeah, 28.
28 carries for 90 yards?
You know, the last 5 games, they've averaged 23 carries. Whew. Well, Kellen Moore takes a look at it after about 5 of those nowheres, you know, those zeros, and he's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, so that's on him. That's not on Zeke. That's him. It's his responsibility.
I know, but when you say, and I wanted him so badly, I told you on Thanksgiving morning, we sat right here and I said, I need a Salvation Army kettle game from Zeke. I need 20 carries for 105 yards and him jumping in the kettle after.
Well, tell Kellen Moore to stop giving you a FedEx game and airing it out.
He was airing it out. Well, the point is, I know you get a little antsy. Zeke goes nowhere, and then Zeke goes nowhere. And then Zeke goes 1 yard, and then Zeke goes nowhere. And you say, he looks washed. And you say, how long can you stick with what's not working?
I'll give you a prime example. Look at the Buccaneers against Indy on Sunday. Mm-hmm. It was no yards, stopped in the backfield, no yards.
Jonathan Taylor.
No, I'm saying the Bucs offense. And then all of a sudden, late in the ball game, Leonard Fournette started getting 5 yards, and Rojo started getting 8 yards. And what broke the game? 30-yard touchdown at the end of the game. Sometimes, Skip, guys, everybody's fresh, and it's hard to just get big runs at the start of the game, but you wear a team down, and so all of a sudden that 2-yard run is a 5-yard run. That 5-yard run is a 10, 15-yard run.
But I don't have the play-by-play in front of me, but I watched the game very carefully, and I don't remember either playoff Lenny, Lombardi Lenny, or Rojo getting just smothered, stopped, where they just couldn't get out of the blocks.
Right.
You know, they were still early in the game. They would get 3 or 4 yards.
But a lot of times, Skip, if Rojo would come in with a change of pace, but he was only getting 1 yard.
He was running hard.
But Zeke get 2 yards, or probably get 2 yards. No, that's not enough. I expected that play to get me 10 yards, so it didn't get 10.
But when you eye test Ezekiel Elliott, you just say, ugh. Like, I can't stick with that.
Skip, you know he's a plow horse back now. You know he's not a thoroughbred that just hit the hole and gone. He doesn't have Jonathan Taylor speed. He doesn't have Derrick Henry that can hit the hole and just out of there. That's not what, or these backs at San Francisco seem like every back they got can hit the hole and get gone.
They do. But listen, Tony Pollard's got a burst, and he's not little.
Yes.
He weighs 210. So
that ain't a whole lot of weight.
It's enough.
For the guy that you want to get the guy 20 carries a game at 210.
I'm knocking on wood, but he's been durable so far, because when they do run in between the tackles, he seems to push the pile.
Yeah, Skip, you're running between the tackles, but you're only doing that 8-10 times a game. When you double that, and then you said you wanted to get a couple of passes on top of that. So you want to give him 20, you want to give him 20, 25 touches a game. At 210?
Yep. You seem afraid of him.
No
mercy. Russell Westbrook has acknowledged that he'll have to pick up more of a leadership role on the court as LeBron misses time in health and safety protocols. And not surprisingly, the former MVP is confident that his play can back it up too. telling reporters earlier this week, quote, "One thing about me is I can adapt to anything. I can play 1 through 5, and I take it as a challenge just to do what it takes for us to win." Shannon, are you feeling better about Westbrook fitting in with the Lakers?
I don't know about him playing 1 through 5, but I like the fact that he's willing to sacrifice. And obviously, when you bring 3 guys together like that, a lot of sacrifices are going to have to take place. But I like him, Skip, and he's playing better. He's doing a better job of taking care of the basketball. Over the first 15 games, he was averaging 5 turnovers a game. Over the last 8, he's averaging 3.5. You can live with that. You can live with 3.5 turnovers a game when he's giving you the kind of production, facilitating the offense that he does. He's never going to be the most efficient player. I mean, I'm watching the game the other night in Sacramento. I'm like, Russ, do you have, like, slippery stuff on you got Pam or something, butter on your fingers or something? Because the ball, he go to lay it up and the ball goes smooth over the rim. And I'm like, Russ, he dribbling the ball and it's all over the place. But he regrouped. He got it together. And he understands that when LeBron's out, he's going to have to take on more of not only a leadership role, but, Skip, he's going to have to do a lot of the other things while cutting down on the turnovers. Skip, you can't be inefficient, high turnover, and play no defense. You can't have a combination of all 3 of those. Now, you got to pick one, preferably, Skip, but he was inefficient. He was turning the ball over at an alarming rate, and he was playing no D. So now I love hearing that. But I just want, Skip, you know what I want? I want for 1 month, I want AD and LeBron and Russ to play together, where none of these guys miss a game.
Yep.
We really have yet to see them play together any length of time because LeBron got with the ankle, and the next thing you know, he had the groin, the lower abdomen, whatever that was going on. AD missed some time.
Yep.
So we haven't seen this team really be together. And now Malik Monk is starting to play well. They're starting to find out the rotations. Some of these guys that were playing a lot early are not playing nearly as much late.
Yep.
So for me, Skip, I love hearing Russ say this, and I believe him when he says it. I believe he's willing to adapt his game to fit in order for them to win. And so I love hearing that, and I love what I'm seeing over the last 8 games. You can win with this type of Russ. You definitely can win and can go far.
Okay, I cannot disagree with every point you just made, but I stand by my original point. This will not work. LeBron will regret, he will rue the day that he chose Russell Westbrook over Buddy Hield. And even Shannon Sharpe said, no, Buddy Hield was the better fit. I still don't get this. But I do give props to Russ because over the last, I got 9 games, I'm with you, but he has gone quiet, dare I say, quiet, where a lot of times I don't even know he's out there when for the first whatever game, first 10, 12 games, he was as loud as you can get because it was clownish what was happening because he was having 10 turnover games. And we'd do blooper reels when I would come in here because you would just scratch your head and say, what are you doing? Because some of the turnovers are so bad that he just throws it out of bounds or throws it right to a defender like they're his target.
Well, he threw one, remember he threw the one off AD head.
His head. What are you doing? So now he's become contrite, Russ. He's very quiet with what he says, even though he's still leading the NBA in turnovers because he piled up so many early on. But he's only 3 ahead of James Harden now, but he's 108. But to your point, over the I got 9 games, he's averaged 4. Well, you can, like you said, that'll work because you can't live with 10, but you can live with 4.
To skip the 10, the 8, the 7.
No.
That's too many.
Okay, and then he came up with a term I'd never heard before, and I've been covering this league since the 70s, but he said, I'll play the dunker spot, and it took me a second because I'd never heard it called that. He's saying he's the picker, you know, like instead for years.
So he rolled to the basket.
He had Steven Adams come and be the dunker, you know, like Steven Adams would come and set the pick and roll
to the basket
and get the lob, get the lob dunk or the bounce pass or whatever. And Russ is saying, I can be the dunker because.
But he did, Skip, you saw that. He comes big with AD. AD hit him the ball because normally he gets in the pick and roll, he picks, get the ball to AD. He would go stand off in the corner. Now he's diving to the basket. He's getting dunks. He's getting layups. So I like that, Russ.
Okay, and for once, Russell Westbrook actually understated in giving himself a compliment. He said, I would say I'm a pretty good rebounder for my size. No,
you're great.
You're
the greatest rebounder for your size. Right? Yeah, I mean, ain't nobody 6'3" rebounder like that. No, nobody. No, he's the greatest rebounder for his size.
I've never seen anything like it. The energy level, the strength level, the scrap level. It's just like he'll fight.
Yes, and that's what, remember when we were talking about it we did a segment last year, Skip, like, which is the hardest part of the triple-double? And Russ said it was the assist for the simple fact, I can't control whether or not he makes the ball. But I said it's the rebound, because it's not like you're big and you up under the basket and the ball is coming directly to you. You got to chase over here. You got to chase over there. And you got to do this on a nightly basis. Do you imagine the energy? It don't really take a whole lot of energy to get assist, Skip. And if you shoot the ball as much as he's shooting it 18, 19 times, you should get 10 points. Yep. But it's the rebounds on a nightly basis when the ball is carrying, they're shooting threes and the ball going way over there, and here come Russ. Sometimes, Skip, I don't even see Russ in the screen, and all of a sudden he got the ball. I think, where did he come from?
Well, it's because some 6'5" guy's trying to screen him off and taking him for granted.
Yes.
That little guy can't get up. No.
He's stronger than you think, and he still has his quickness.
He does. So I give him all that, but in the end, I still say solo act of a stat machine, you will pay the price for this.
We ain't gonna pay no price.
Yep.
Tell you what, just keep on doing what you're doing, Russ. That's what we did, what we seen over the last 8 games, Russ. That'll win us a lot of games. And then once we get to the playoffs, go to take it over. The go to take it over. I just want Russ to keep doing what he's doing over the last 8 games. Just get us to the playoffs and watch go. Now I'll go watch go.
No mercy.
The Cowboys will look to avoid third straight loss tonight when they face the Saints on Fox, but they'll have to do so without their head coach. Mike McCarthy will miss the game due to COVID protocols, so defensive coordinator Dan Quinn will take his spot for the week. Skip, what would it say about McCarthy if the Cowboys win impressively tonight?
Interesting. So, obviously, I'm not a big Mike McCarthy fan, neither are you. So let me paint this scenario. What if, without Mike McCarthy tonight, the Cowboys come out and put on an explosive show? What if they just fly out of the gates with a different energy, a different electricity than we've seen all year, thanks in part to their defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, who is now the interim head coach, the replacement head coach, standing on the sideline. And obviously Dan Quinn has been a head coach in Atlanta and has a whole different kind of contagious charisma that Mike McCarthy clearly does not own. So what if my team comes out tonight flying out of the gates with a different body language, just a different feel to it, and they dominate and devastate at the Superdome, and then Mike McCarthy returns next week as they go to Washington and they lay a big old lifeless egg? What would Jerry Jones sit back and say? I love old Mike. I like to have beer and nachos with him, but man, I don't know. That Dan Quinn, I got a little different vibe going from him, didn't I?
No,
right?
No. First of all, you did like Mike McCarthy because you had a made man when Jerry signed him last year.
Well, I trusted that, and then I switched after I saw what he was all about, and I said maybe Aaron Rodgers did carry him all the way to a Super Bowl.
Skip, you and I both know Jerry Jones is looking for a certain type of coach. And that coach is not a Jimmy Johnson. It's not a Bill Parcells. It's not one of these young, hot-shot guys that's going to, offensive mind, that's going to want control. Mike McCarthy loves having the title of head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But that's all he is. He's head coach in title. He doesn't have final say of 53. He has no input on the draft. He doesn't have anything to do with free agency. He doesn't set the roster. So with that being said,
he doesn't even call plays.
Exactly. He doesn't call plays. So this is all Jerry. Jerry loves this. Skip, he kept 8-8. You called him 8-8 Jason Garrett. He kept Jason Garrett, who had he's kept him for 9 years. 4 of those years he was 8-8. And he kept him. You kept begging him. After about the third year, you like, Jerry, you got rid of him. Get rid of him. You got to get rid of him. You got to get rid of him. And he kept him for 6 more years. And then he pondered, do I bring him back 1 more year? I don't know. I think they might get restless. I think the Cowboy faithful might get restless if I bring O. Jason back 1 more time. So he's not getting rid of Mike McCarthy because he loved this type of a guy that's going to let, go ahead, Jerry, talk to the team. Okay, Jerry, you speak on this behalf. A lot more forceful, or coaches that will get the maximum out of your team, Jerry ain't looking for that. You know that.
I don't know that because Jerry's no fool here. And if it smacks him right between the eyes that, wait a second, my team has looked flat for X number of games, and it looks even flatter at Washington, then he's going to have to start
Dan Quinn had a team. He had a team for 4 years in Atlanta.
And what happened to that team? It was in a powerful position because it looked like it had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick dead to rights.
Yeah, well, that's the case. Mike McCarthy had that team in the right position, in a power position, and they won the Super Bowl. Your guy had a 28-3 lead, and they were never the same after that. How did they look after that? Did they even come close to making the playoffs?
Okay, but you know, and I know what happens when that happens.
Yeah.
You're just dead in the water. You got to start over.
Okay.
What happened to the Legion of Boom? You told me that was the turning point, and it was never the same, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you think Jerry would get rid of Mike McCarthy if...
I think it would give him cause to pause and start to ponder, wait a second, what has been our biggest problem here? Well,
so you go blame Mike McCarthy?
Flat, and flatter.
He's the problem. Jerry. He's the problem.
I promise you, Jerry will never fire Jerry.
Yeah, no, I promise. I know that.
As we live, he will never do that.
But you know who the problem is. You say you spent thousands of hours with him. You know how he thinks. He likes a coach that's, yes, Jerry, that's right. Let me ask you a question. I know one other owner that actually got the game plan of what they were going to do. And you know who that is. That was Al Davis.
No, he was making the game plan.
So at the end of the day,
he was a coach.
You go up there on Friday and says, okay, this is what we're going to do, Jerry.
Switching gears. No mercy. Gronk had his 30th career game with more than 100 receiving yards last week, putting him one game behind Tony Gonzalez's record for most 100-yard games by a tight end. Earlier this week, Gronk told NFL Network, I'm trying to break that record. Why wouldn't I try to break that record? I'm coming for it. Shannon, how impressive is this record?
It's impressive that it's still standing, given that the era that we're in, Skip, in which everybody throws the football. But I believe Gronk, a lot of times, Skip, the most dominant player in a particular sport doesn't have the most goals or the most points or the most this or that. It's only right that Gronk has this record because I believe he's the most dominant tight end to ever play. He plays in a different era, but that's not to take anything away from him. So I believe he's going to get that. Well, I know he's going to get this record. What Tony did was impressive. 31 games, but it took him 17 years. I think what Gronk said is 11th year now.
Yeah.
So
what do I tell you about Brady and Belichick? 75% Brady, 25% Belichick. Brady and Gronk, 75% Brady, 25% Gronk. So he's very lucky that he gets to play with the GOAT. Right. But he is very good, and I love him, and I'm very happy the GOAT has him. But he has been very blessed to play with that quarterback.
He plays in the era, Skip, with the running game. I mean, in my 14 years, I had 10 1,000-yard rushers. Gronk has only blocked for 3 of those. So they throw the ball a lot more. But he should have this record. He's the most dominant tight end. He's the GOAT tight end. And take your hat off to him because he's been great.
That
Sorry,
coming
Tony.
from a Hall of Fame tight end.
I ain't got no problem giving people credit. I'll never do that. I ain't got no problem. He good. He great.
Well, that's it for us, guys. Enjoy the Thursday night football game tonight on Fox. You know we'll be talking about it tomorrow, but don't go anywhere because The Herd starts right now.